Hello and welcome to another video. This time out, it's a prediction to the Premier League Game Week 23 now. Now, I'm today joined by Soccer Knowledge 86. Hello, welcome to the channel.
Hello.
You're a Liverpool fan, so I'm interested in your opinions today. So far, the Premier League's looking very weak this season. You don't really know who's gonna finish on fourth place all the way down to 14th or 15th still, so it's super volatile. Interestingly, well, let's just get into the matches. To be fair, 22 game weeks over, and now we are on game week 23. West Ham against Sunderland to kick off the game week 23. Now this is interesting. Let's look at West Ham's last few games. They have had, they did win against Tottenham in the London Derby, so that's pretty interesting. They also won their game in the FA Cup. To be honest, I didn't watch that game, but they lost to Nottingham Forest, their direct relegation rivals, and also lost 3-0 to Wolves. This was that one horror game for West Ham, so they're not consistent. Most of these games are losses. They did draw to Brighton twice and United, so current form is not good, but it's not the worst either. So 2 wins from the last 2 games. Interesting. So West Ham now did sign Tati Castellanos from, I think, Lazio. He played Lazio Rome. So
Yeah.
a new striker. They do lack a bit of quality, especially compared to Sunderland, who, I don't know if you did notice, but Sunderland actually did change their whole starting 11 from their team that they got promoted with, except for
Yeah.
Ballard. He's the last one remaining from that team. So it's 10 different names. And Sunderland, let's look at their last few games. They did win against Crystal Palace, which is a pretty good win. 1-1 against Everton. They lost to Brentford. Brentford is so good this season. Drew to Tottenham, drew to City, and early in the season they actually drew to Arsenal as well. And they won their Tyne derby against Newcastle. Voltemade on goal, unfortunately. I do think this could be a draw. I do give West Ham United the home advantage, but I do think Sunderland are the better team. That's why I'm going for a 1-1 with goals from, let's give one to Tati Castellanos and Brobbey, because he's in really good form right now. So what's your prediction for this game?
I think that Sunderland will win this game closely because West Ham is in a relegation place and Sunderland is on place 9, I think. And
Yeah, the mid-table, yeah.
I say 1 goal Shaka and 1 goal for Lefebvre.
Yeah, Lefebvre is a really good player as well, technically. Incredible if you've watched him, even though he did miss a Panenka penalty. So Sunderland is on ninth
Yeah.
place. Yeah, like Newcastle, they are on your guys' ass, only 3 points of Liverpool. Yeah, so next one is Burnley against Spurs. Oh my god, bro, I don't even know what to predict with Spurs this season because they've been so up and down. Now these guys win against Manchester City. They did lose to West Ham last week. What the hell is going on with them? But they also won against Dortmund. So you don't know what to predict with them, really. Tottenham. Thomas Frank against Scott Parker. 2 well-known names throughout the last 10 years in football management. Yeah, I mean, Spurs should win this. They have a way better team than Burnley. And Burnley are 19th, so I do think it will be close though. Burnley is I do think, very sorry team, so they don't play exciting football. They did, however, actually, I did watch them part of the game against you guys, against Liverpool. They did play some good football in the second half and got a 1-1 draw against you guys. So maybe it's another draw, but I do think Spurs are now on, what was it, 14th? So yeah, so they do need to get some points on the board to make the European places at the end of the season. So I'm looking at Spurs and I'm looking at a Spurs win, although a close one. What do you think? I'll let you pick the result first for this one.
Yeah, I also think this because Burnley is in a great form. Draw versus Liverpool. Tottenham is not in the top form now, and I think Tottenham will win this game 3-2.
With goals from Kolomani, maybe?
Yeah, Colomani save one goal, and think a header and one perhaps of Xavi Simmons.
And for Burnley?
Yeah,
Edwards did score against you guys, so maybe him.
yeah,
All right, so I'm going with a 2-1 win for Spurs with goals from Kolomani and weirdly again Christian Romero and
yeah,
Jaden Anthony, one for Burnley.
yeah,
S- But yeah, Burnley also they do need to get some more points on the board. 14 points is really not a good season. If I think in the 2000s we did have some seasons where um, p- teams with 39 points would get relegated. So compared to now, the level of the lower half of the table has dropped off incredibly. So now you don't even have to get 30 points, maybe. So, Fulham against Brighton. Oh, this screams of a certain result. Absolutely. So, interesting. So, Fulham actually been very, very good recently. I think they did almost not even throughout the whole season. I did think so. They did win against Chelsea in their London derby. Did lose to Leeds because Leeds is in great form right now. Did win their game against Middlesbrough in the FA Cup. Drew to Liverpool. Drew to Crystal Palace. Won against West Ham. Won against Forest. Narrowly lost to Newcastle. Won against Burnley. That's the one you have to win. Narrowly lost against Man City. This game was the game of the season, by the way. I don't know if you've seen
yeah,
this, but the 9 goals from Fulham against Man City was at the start of December was absolutely crazy. So really, really good form there in mid-table right now. 31 points, only 5 points of United. No, 4 points of United and 5 of Liverpool. So they could even go on a charge for the European places. And Brighton will be, yeah, they won against Manchester United in the FA Cup, which was, I think, yeah, this was the first cup game for the new manager, Michael Carrick, for Manchester United, current interim. And a draw against Bournemouth, a draw against Man City is actually crazy. Although Man City do struggle to not only defend but score goals currently. They won against Burnley. They drew to Sunderland, drew to Brighton. Yeah, there are so many draws in here, to be fair. Most of these games are draws from Brighton. Last year they were actually 8th at the end of the season, so they were really good. So I do think they dropped off a bit, although I rate Hürzeler as a coach. I think this will be a draw. For me, it'd be a 1-1 with goals from Harry Wilson, who's had a fantastic season. Brilliant player, technically gifted. I don't know, maybe Liverpool should buy him back. I don't know if you've seen that many Fulham games, but he's an absolutely brilliant technician.
yeah.
But you also probably don't need it, to be fair, in your midfield. So that was this game right here. And for Brighton, I'm just gonna give a goal to Gruder because I really liked him. Very technically gifted. Also, of course, he's the other 10. Even though they both were the shot number 8. But 1 goal for Gruder, 1 goal for Wilson. So, what's your take?
Yeah, I think it's also a very close game. But I think that it's a typical 0-0.
Yeah, could be. So, are you saying that the goalkeepers do have a lot of work to do that day, or will it be just a boring game with not many chances at all?
I think that they have a lot to do because they are good in the offense, I think, and the goalies are not so bad. Verbruggen and Lino, yeah,
Yeah, true. Both well-known goalies,
yeah,
Belgium national team, and Bernd Leno, former Arsenal goalkeeper as well. So and Leverkusen, I think. Yeah, both of them. So two big clubs. Yeah. So yeah, this game just screams of a draw. Man City against Wolves. Now,
yeah. Ooh,
I'm not to say that Manchester City will draw this game or leave points on the table, but I do think Wolves currently, by the way, let's look at them first. I think they got 6 points or five out of the last few games in the Premier League.
yeah,
Remember, they were on 2 points on court to be the worst Premier League team of all time if they kept going like this. Now they're on 8. 3 draws and 1 win over the last few games, and a 3-0 against West Ham very convincingly as well. They won 6-1 against Shrewsbury in the cup, so get out of there, Shrewsbury, put the fries in the bag. A draw to Newcastle was also impressive, a draw to Everton as well, and this 3-0 win right here, the draw to United, which was still under Ruben Amorim, but he got sacked, as you all know. Interesting. This will be close. I'm going. Well, City. City played a shit ton of draws, by the way, over the last few games. They did
yeah.
lose to
City versus
Bodo.
Bodo.
They did lose
There's
the
nothing
Manchester
to say.
derby. Yeah,
Yeah,
true. That just shows you how bad their defense currently is,
yeah,
Manchester City. Because you looked at that game, you looked at the defensive line, and you looked at Rodri. They've got a crisis back there.
yeah,
Because Diaz is out, Guardiola is out. Yeah, they brought in Mark Gahey from Crystal Palace. They need him absolutely right now.
yeah.
A midfield lone pivot of Rodri completely lost the midfield battle and got a red card in that game. So yeah, I think they do need to get in a double pivot, like play Rodri alongside Reinders, because Nico Gonzalez is out, the Spaniard who was so good this season, and now he has picked up an injury. And yeah, they did lose the Manchester derby 2-1 to, sorry, 2-0 to Manchester United, one of the best games this season, by the way. They did win against Newcastle, but then there's this 10-1 against Exeter in the FA Cup wild game, and a bunch of draws right here, these games. Yeah, the win against this one right here hurts because the way they're playing right now. Yeah. All right. What are we saying for this game? I'm going with, well, it's a home game still, to be honest, but Wolves shouldn't have enough. I'm going for because they will concede a goal because the defense is shambolic right now. You're looking at Elaine Kuzanov and Rico Lewis in defense. What the hell is even going on in this defense? There's no Nunez. I don't rate Lewis, by the way, not that much. He's a technically, like Lewis Scully in Arsenal, a midfielder that plays right back. Guy that inverts into midfield. Kuzanov was decent, but not very good compared to Diaz and Guardiola. And Elaine is a teenager, I think, or very young player. Donnarumma will have not a lot to do, but a bit to do. I think he will concede a goal, interestingly. The one goal will be for Mateus Mane, the young Englishman, best player over the last few weeks for Wolves. And for City, I'm going for Haaland with 1, back on the score sheet. Foden with 1. Let's go Semenyo and Cherki off the bench. So 4 different goal scorers, 4-1 for City. And Haaland with the first goal in 9 games, I think, including this one, which was not a penalty. So what do you think?
Oh, when City is playing against Bodo, this was how you say it was very shit. And but I don't think they will play against Wolves, so because of that, I will say City will win this match with 3-1. I go with a goal for Reinders and 2 goals for Semenyo.
And for Wolves?
For Wolves, I will say the young Mane will score.
Yeah. Will be interesting though. Mateus Mane. Yeah, bigger clubs could be on to him very soon. Next up is Bournemouth against Liverpool, and I do want to let you start with this one.
Yes. We see Salah back on the team. I think it's important for them to have another right wing. And yeah, I hope that Liverpool will win this game. It's important for the Premier League table. I say it's a close one. I say 2 for Liverpool and 1 for Bournemouth. I say Ekitike and Florian Wirtz will score. And for Bournemouth, I will say Adley or Groupie, I think.
Interesting. So, I will have a look at the form. Because you did watch every Liverpool game, so you will know better than I. So Bournemouth did play 2 draws, then lost in the FA Cup on pens to Newcastle. I did get a bit of a glimpse of that game. Then they won against Tottenham. Yeah, doesn't say much. Lost to City, won against Forest, drew to Palace, won against Fulham. Yeah, I do think Liverpool will win this though. Do you think you guys will get Xabi Alonso as new coach?
In this season, it's getting hard to get him because Lot is doing his job now really good. We win yesterday against Marseille. Yeah. I think perhaps in the next Premier League season, but in this season, I don't think so.
Also, the Liverpool board, the owners are very unlikely to sack people except it gets really, really bad. So
Yeah.
they're very, I want to say, very human, very nice to their managers, which is, yeah, the complete opposite of someone like United or Chelsea.
Yeah.
So I do think, well, Liverpool's season, compared to their expectations, compared to what we wanted to see, has been not good. I would even say horrific, because they spent 500 million quid in the summer, which is, by the way, 575 million euros, which is a lot. Wirtz, Ekitike, Isak are the 3 big names they brought in. And yeah, although I do think this Liverpool system right here with Ekitike and Salah on the field instead of Isak, who's been injured right now and who struggled with fitness, is better than when Isak is on, because I think Ekitike and Salah, they play well together, especially when it comes to scoring goals. Although I do like the double striker with Isak and with Ekitike and Salah better.
Yeah.
To be fair, because Salah, he doesn't run as much as he used to a few years ago. If you play him closer to the goal in the inside right as a right striker, I think he can score you 20 goals in a league season still. So I'm going enough yapping. What do I go for in this game? Well, I do want to say my boy Jimenez, but it's unrealistic. So Evan Nilsson with 1 and 1 for Salah, 1 for Ekitike, and 1 for Szoboszlai. Szoboszlai, by the way, your best player this season, I think.
Yeah.
This guy, yeah. Other than the mistake he had a few days ago or games ago, actually, where that back pass that he wanted to do assisted a goal for the opponent. Yeah, That was brain dead, by the way. But other
Yeah.
than that, brilliant this season. Yeah, even the best players make mistakes. Gabriel for Arsenal did that a few weeks ago against Bournemouth. Had a pass that led to a goal, but then later scored that game. And Soboslai, one of the best midfielders with in terms of goal scoring this season as well in the top 5 leagues. I should be, by the way. So yeah, really, really good player and good looking as well. 3-1 for Liverpool, guys. 3-1. I do think you maybe can pick up some form and get a safe spot for the Champions League now. Now on to the Sunday games now. Brentford against Forest. So let's open up these as well. Oh, Brentford, man. Brentford. 7th in the table. These men are so good. 35 goals scored as well. I mean, they conceded 30, but Igor Thiago, man, what a striker, honestly. And on the other hand, a team barely better than or in relegation form almost, with being on 17th, only 5 points off West Ham. So interesting. What are we saying for this one? I mean, come on, it's a Brentford home game as well.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't even need to look at the form. Brentford have been absolutely brilliant. Keith Andrews, completely new manager as well, who replaced Thomas Frank. So I'm going with a 4-1. Goals 2 from Thiago, 1 from Schade, and maybe finally he will score Damsgaard with 1 goal and 1 from. I really do like Hutchinson. I don't know if he's available. Need to look for that. Yeah, Hutchinson off the bench with 1 goal. So 4-1 for Brentford.
I will say 3-0, 3-0 for Brentford. I think that Keller is not conceding a goal. I'm going for 2 goals to Thiago and 1 goal with a header to Collins or Acher.
Okay, interesting. Yeah, with a header, then that means then probably this guy right here, Coyote, is
Yeah.
on to another
Any of the
long throws.
defenders.
Yeah, any of the defenders, even Rico Henry maybe. Yeah,
Yeah.
let's see. So, yeah. By the way, Coyote, the modern day Rory Delap, so long throws specialist, which are so important this season in the Premier League. Next up, a purely London-based game, a London derby between Crystal Palace and Chelsea. Now, Chelsea with new manager Liam Rossinier have actually, I think, won their last 3, wasn't it? So let's see. They did win in the Champions League yesterday against Paphos, yeah, close 1-0. They did lose, the last 2 fairs. They did lose to Arsenal. Good game, by the way, from both sides on this one. Yeah, they did win against Charlton, but they did struggle then under Maresca a bit. Can they win this one? Well, Crystal Palace just lost their captain, Mark Gahey, so I do think Chelsea should win this. Crystal Palace have been decent this season, especially at the start. They were on like top 4 for a while, so that was kind of nuts. And they are now on 13th, but very close, still very close to the European spots. Lost to Sunderland. This one right here really hurts. Losing to Macclesfield in the FA Cup when you're the current holder as well, last year's winner. Really good game right there against Aston Villa. Won a 0-0. Then you lost to Newcastle because Newcastle is a very good team. Fulham are on form right now. This one hurts a bit, I guess. Losing to Tottenham. Draw against Arsenal. Yeah, forms kind of been dropping off since December. So I'm going with a Chelsea win on this one. Now, you do know that I do have a bias for Crystal Palace. I don't know if you have them too because of Oliver Glasner. And yeah, because of, I guess, the Crystal Palace ballers like Olise before they sold him to Bayern and before they sold him to Arsenal,
No.
and also like Mateta. So but it's complete Austrian bias from my side to Oliver Glasner. However, Chelsea will win this game 2-1 with a goal from a now finally returning to form, Cole Palmer. One goal from him and one from João Pedro. And yeah, let's go with one for Brennan Johnson because he does need to pick up form. He didn't play that much for Tottenham this season. I think a game where both goalkeepers, especially Henderson, will have a lot to do because they are literally, Crystal Palace are missing their captain, their current best player, maybe alongside Adam Wharton and Gahey, and sold them to Manchester City. So Henderson will have a lot to do, but he's a very good keeper, so he's not gonna concede 3 or more, I'm gonna guess. So what's your take?
I will go with 2-0 for Chelsea. I think that they are going to win this game easily against Crystal Palace. Crystal Palace is nowadays not the best team in the Premier League, mid-table or at the end, I think.
Yeah,
And yeah,
just right in the middle, basically.
yeah, yes. And I think Chelsea will score maximum
Don't
of 2
don't
goals.
don't tip Garnacho, please. Don't tip Garnacho,
No,
please. Do it.
I will go 1 goal with Cole Palmer, yeah, and 1 goal for Pedro Neto.
Pedro Neto, all right. Yeah, he needs those goals. He doesn't score that many. Yeah. Next up, this is also an interesting one. Newcastle against Aston Villa. Now Newcastle are on really good form right now, and they have picked up a win in the Champions League comfortably against Eindhoven. This one was kind of a blip, a bad day, you could kind of say, and Man City were still on good right here, but had a good day against Newcastle, I would say. But if you look at here, compared to the other team, this doesn't look like the best form. But look, Newcastle were on like 14th and they're now up to 8th, only 3 points of Manchester United and Liverpool. It shows you how mediocre the Premier League has been this season. If you don't need to win every game, you could be in contention for a Europa League or Champions League spot even. And I'm talking about the 4th, the 5th, and the 6th place in particular right here. Because the other 3, I think, are pretty safe right now as it stands. So this kind of form that Newcastle has is one of the best in the league still. Not as good as Aston Villa though, because Aston Villa's form was the best in the Premier League this season by far as well. So they do currently play in the Europa League funnily as of the recording of this video. They lost to Everton, won against Tottenham, drew to Crystal Palace, won against Forest. This one was kind of an off day for them. They lost against Arsenal, but look at this right here. Jesus Christ, what is going on here with this form? They won, I think, 12 league games in a row in that stretch. And they barely lost since the end of September. So Aston Villa, though, have a very thin squad. They don't have as many options. You look at that midfield, they are missing. Well, McGinn could even play this game, funnily enough, so he's back. That's very important, their captain. Thought he was out for longer, actually. So they're missing Onana and Kamara in midfield, 2 of their best players. So very thin midfield. Still, like at the start of the season, I think it was a 0-0. I do think this will be another draw. However, I hope, and this is where I'm going with not with my head but with my heart for this prediction, 2-2. A very entertaining game with goals from Wieser. Let's give one to Barnes. And Watkins, I don't know if Watkins will score. Rodgers and Tielemans for me.
I will go for Newcastle because it will be important for Liverpool when Aston Villa loses this game, that they can get closer to them And
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, and get away from the rest, like fifth, sixth place, and so on.
yeah,
So,
one game can change the whole Premier League
season, yeah.
table to the place 8 or so.
Yeah,
And
you
yeah,
can literally drop from fifth to 10th in like
yeah.
one or two, even at this point of the season in one or two games. So, are you going with Newcastle because they have a better squad depth right now, more good players to
Yeah,
substitute?
yeah.
Yeah, okay.
I
And
think,
because you want them to win as well.
yeah.
So, what's your goal scorers for this game?
I think that Gordon will score a goal and Tonali. And on the other side, I hope that Watkins will score. I like him very much.
Yeah.
And yeah, 2-1 for Newcastle.
Yes. So Newcastle could then progress and maybe bypass Brentford, depending on how this game week goes out. So Arsenal versus Manchester United. Well, honestly, if this if it wasn't for Monday Night Football, which is Everton against Leeds this time around, this would be the last game because it's the best game this week. Now,
Yeah.
Manchester United played a fantastic game against Manchester City. It was the Ferguson United way, courageous, brave, power play, offensively great. One of the best games I've seen this season. Maybe bar the game City played against Fulham, that 5-4. Maybe the best game this season. I don't. Have you seen the Manchester Derby?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
City
really,
City got dominated.
yeah, it's fascinating what Manchester United have done to City.
Fascinating to say the least. And
Yeah,
however, um, going against Arsenal, I do think there will be a different game plan. I do think they will have a game where they gonna stand in the mid or deep low block even, because Arsenal are gonna try to win this game, and City didn't try to win the last game they played against, so it's gonna be completely different to the Manchester Derby. And I think Arsenal's quality will overwhelm Manchester United. Arsenal, the best team this season, maybe even in Europe. So I'm going with Saliba, Gabriel, the best center back pairing in the world, the best defense in the world. Everyone will be there. Even Odegaard is back on form, by the way. I don't like Gyökeres, to be honest. I do want Jesus to play because I like him more because he's more technical.
yes.
I'm going with a solid. It's either a 2-0 or 2-1. I feel like maybe a 3-1 or 3-0, but I'm going with a 2-0. I think that's a safe pick for this one, with goals from, because I like him so much. Gabriel, we need you in the summer, man. Come to Madrid. And one for, let's give one to Saka off the bench.
I also go for Arsenal in this game. I think they will clearly win this game against Manchester United. United are in a good form, but Arsenal is the best team in the Premier League. There's nothing to say for them. And yeah, I go with a 3-0 for Arsenal with the goals from Martinelli, I guess, one for Madueke, and perhaps again a corner kick or free kick standard for Gabriel.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Rice's deliveries and the standard coach, Nicholas Jova. You've
Yeah,
created a monster. 25 goals from dead balls this season for Arsenal.
yeah.
Long throws, free kicks, and corners. It is nuts what they do this season with them. So, Monday Night Football up next. Everton, Leeds United. Everton are the team that draw everyone, it feels like. 1-1 against Sunderland, 1-1 against Wolves. They did win against Aston Villa because Aston Villa have injuries, as already discussed. They did lose to Brentford, played against Brighton. They don't actually have as much draws as I would have thought, although it almost feels like. But looking at the results, they only progress through the table like they have draws. They did have a good form at some point of the season, especially if you look. No, not even then. Yeah, okay, they did win 4 out of 5 games at this stretch, but still, they progress very slow in the table, so they're mid-table, really just bomb on mid-table. Yeah, Everton, interesting. Leeds are now on 16th, 8 points off West Ham, and are in really good form. Won their game again in the FA Cup, narrowly lost to Newcastle, won against Fulham, drew to United, which was still under Amarim, by the way, drew to Liverpool as well, drew to Sunderland, drew to Liverpool again, won against Chelsea, drew to Brentford, won against Crystal Palace. This game right here does make no sense whatsoever. Yeah, what are we saying for Everton versus Leeds Monday Night Football? Interesting. It's Everton's home ground in Liverpool as well, the new stadium, the Hill Dickinson's. So this, contrary to the fact that they don't have as many draws, I will say that Everton will play a draw this game against Leeds because Leeds have a lot of draws. So I'm going with a 1-1 with. Well, I do want Njai to score, but he's not. Well, is he even fit? Let's see. Yeah, he's not the best goal scorer as well, but Barry is in good form, so I'm gonna give Barry 1 goal and 1 goal to Calvert-Lewin because he scored, I think, over the last 8, 9, 10 Premier League games, 6 or 7 goals. This was not meant to be the meme, but whatever. Yeah, 1 to Calvert-Lewin, 1 to Barry, 1-1 draw. What do you say?
I go also with a draw because Leeds draws many games and Everton plays not really good, but it's standard playing. I think that Leeds will score goals and Everton also score goals because the defense is not the best. I go with a 2-2. 1 goal for Aronson and 1 goal for Okafor. Two
I knew it.
two ex-Salzburg players.
Yeah,
Yeah.
of course.
And for Everton, I will go for a goal for Barry and Armstrong.
Okay. Not Merlin Röhl, to be fair. Young German talent as well. If
Yeah.
you have watched him, very good technically as well. Yeah, guys, what do you think of these predictions? Did we have any good predictions at all in this video? Or did we completely talk bullshit the whole video? What do you think? Let me know down below. And see you guys. Peace.